It's a special night here in the Storm Shelter. It's all about the number 41 and this man right here. Welcome to another edition of Hockey Night in Manchester. Tonight it's the Sheffield Steelers who come to visit HNIM, and it's another double-header weekend. The last time they were here was New Year's Day, but today a very special evening, all because of the name Brad Rubachuk. Well, we're going to head back in time right now and remind you, if you don't know who Brad is, if you don't know what the legend he is, from Manchester Storm almost 20 years ago, then here's a reminder of exactly what you missed.
Rubachuk is behind him, a chance now as Rubachuk feeds it in, Morrison scores! Goal number one.
Trying to pick that up off the boards behind his net, then Rubachuk goes in and makes a big hit from behind on Ellison, and they get all head up and steam about it, and now they go to sword out face to face.
Bringing it away, but he's lost the puck. Brad Rubachuk, he's one-on-one and scores! 10,000 go wild.
There's a lot of heart in Brad Rubachuk, and that's one of the reasons why he's such a mainstay.
Well, it'll be an emotional night here in HNIM for so many reasons. For the old fans, for the new fans, for the players, and also the management. I've been speaking with our general manager, Neil Russell, and also player coach Omar Pacha to get their thoughts ahead of the big game tonight. How much would it mean to you, the team, the club, the fans, to finally beat the Sheffield Steelers?
It'd be massive. There's no secret. I mean, every game we look at, it doesn't matter if it's Sheffield or any team in our conference or any other team in the other conference. We want to go into the game thinking we have a chance to win. But obviously with that rivalry that we have with Sheffield, it adds a bit more intensity. It adds a bit more, pride to the game. And, taking nothing away from Sheffield, I think they're one of the best teams in the league. So we have to play our brand of hockey, and hopefully that will work, and that will finally get our first win as a franchise against the Sheffield Steelers.
Tell me how the idea of getting Brad back to Manchester Storm came around.
Well, I think it's fair to say that nearly from day one of me walking into this building and taking over the reins of the Manchester Storm, a lot of the old fans and coming back to the Manchester Storm, the one name that kept coming up was Brad Rubachuk. You got to get Brad Rubachuk back, or we're going to retire his jersey in memory of what he did for Storm version 1, as I would call it. And got speaking to Ruby at different stages last year, and he was keen to come back, but for one reason or another, just dates didn't work out for either party. But this year, got speaking to him in the off season, and we got a date finally sorted, got the flights booked, and he's here tonight. Brad
Rubachuk, have you had a chance to talk with him? What do you know about him, and what are you expecting from him when he comes here?
Well, I see the videos of Ruby, but I never really spoke to him per se. Neil's doing a great job setting all that up. But I look forward to meeting with him. I mean, I have the utmost respect for him and all the old Storm players. Mike has some good stories of Brad back in the day, so I'm excited to see him and to ask him even more stories about back in the day, and I'm sure our fans are really happy to see Ruby back for at least a weekend.
How big a deal do you think this will be in attracting old Storm fans back to Manchester Storm now?
I hope it's a major success in that regard. I mean, there are a lot of people here tonight who have contacted me and said, listen, I'm coming to the game on Sunday evening. It's my first time back at the Manchester Storm since the arena days. Really looking forward to it. And I hope, the on-ice performance, but also our match night experience here. It's very different from the MEN days. As you know, MEN 17,000 seater. This is 2,500 seater, but the atmosphere is superb. And actually, speaking to numerous players who have played in front of big crowds and big arenas, they prefer here because the atmosphere is so intense. The fans are right on top of you, and I'm hoping that we capture those fans who are coming back for the first time.
The banner is being raised to the rafters right now. The number 41 moving up high and being raised by Captain Trevor Johnson, but also number 23 Paul Sunnelhurst, Bolton-born lad who once upon a time was the mascot in the 9X Arena for Manchester Storm. Game action is just about to get underway, and a big game for both as Sheffield Steelers hope to chase every point they can for a title race, and Manchester Storm hoping to not get into a dogfight as they scrabble to keep their playoff place. Omar Pacha has never had a competitive win against Sheffield Steelers. Let's hope that he can bag at least 1 point and hopefully the 2 tonight. We'll hand over to our commentators Lee Middleton and Jonanthan Fearnley.
Storm winning the face-off then. It's Mario Trabucco down the line. Works it in behind the back of the net. Battling against the boards there for the Storm. And the Storm could have a chance here. Working behind the net, coming back out. Patrick Rubachuk loses the puck there, and it's a break for the Steelers. But a loose play in the centre ice there. And possession back with Sheffield as they start to pass their way back up the ice. Turnover on halfway there. A little bit of a scrappy start, Jonathan.
Yeah, it's twice the Steelers have lost possession in the neutral zone already.
Played round the boards by the Manchester Storm. Getting a little bit physical down in that corner nice and early. And the Steelers look to bring it away, but the Storm have the puck back on the blue line, heading into the offensive zone. Looking for a pass into the lanes, but it's swallowed. And we'll have a face-off. Quite a high-tempo start to the game, and as we anticipated, really, both teams a little bit scrappy, but you can tell that they're both up for wanting to fight for the puck early on tonight.
Absolutely. The Steelers, a couple of occasions, they skated out of their own zone and just too busy looking left and right, lost possession of the puck, and then another occasion they got themselves into trouble when they played a pass towards the bench and they were in the middle of a change and didn't want to get called for too many men. So 3 times the Steelers have lost possession already inside the first minute.
Just as you say that, the Manchester Storm do give away possession, and it has gone out of the rink. The traditional announcement from John Hammond to keep the eye on the puck at all times. That one was safely into the net, so I'm glad to say. It's a face-off just in front of the Sheffield Steelers net. Manchester Storm hoping to get the start they want to this game. Is back to the blue line, and Paul Phillips. Matt Bissonnette putting one in front of the net there, blocked by Mustakov. Matt Bissonnette again circling in front in the lane. And Mustakov paddling the puck away there with his stick. And the puck returns, and we've got an icing call. So we'll head back up the other end, Jonathan.
Small ice, compact, there's not a lot of room. The shooting lanes are often filled. That was a clever shot to deliberately shoot off target into a body and see if the puck would drop somewhere neat. It did, but it just wasn't enough power on the follow-up shot, and Mustakov could kick it clear.
Still very much on the offensive in the first couple of minutes of the game. We're back over the blue line now. There's everybody pulling back to avoid the offside. Very quick pace, very snappy hands from both sets of players, and there's a shot on net from the Manchester Storm. It was number 7, Conor Farley, who is now chasing back into the defensive zone to go and retrieve the puck. Line change there from the Sheffield Steelers. Good cycling of the puck by the Manchester Storm. Omar Pacha flicks one in, deflected by Mustakov, and it's in the lane, but nobody there from the Storm, and the Sheffield Steelers will break. Back we go. Knocked down there, couldn't quite see who it was. It was behind the TV screen from where we're looking on here, Jonathan. Here come the Manchester Storm on the break again. Rubachuk flicks one in. Mustakov had a busy first couple of minutes. I think we've lost the puck there.
Well, it had gone underneath his pad and against the side of the goal, so as Mustakov looks down, he can't see it, but the referee knows that it's still live because he knows it had got through him. But again, it's the Steelers not able to get across the blue line. They've not really been into the offensive zone at all. And the Storm look good in transition. They're quick and they're being direct. They're getting the puck on goal whenever possible.
Yeah, very good start from the Manchester Storm this evening. A bit of a complete comparison, really, to how things started in Sheffield last night. Once again, cycling the puck across the blue line. Trevor Johnson down to Matt Bissonnette, flicks it round the boards. And looks like the Steelers could be on a break here, Jonathan. Swallowed by Clemente in front of the net. We've got a little bit of afters there. Good possession this for the Steelers, Jonathan.
Yeah, the Steelers will want this. They don't mind getting their defenseman involved in the play. You see the first shot comes in from Fitzgerald, the follow-up comes in from Franson. When they're at their best, the defensemen are getting involved. But if the Storm can make a block, there's two defensemen caught way down the ice. It's boom or bust at times from the Steelers. They're a high-scoring team. They let in a lot as well. They've had a couple of good defensive games recently, a couple of shutouts, but that's the risk that they will be prepared to take.
And it's a risk that they've taken for many seasons, and probably no coincidence that they are one of the most successful teams in British ice hockey as well. Face-off kind of flick back, floated very gently across the ice back to Mike Clemente, who swallows that one, and we'll have another face-off, and we shall pretty much go back to where we were about 20 seconds ago. Sheffield Steelers looking to get the pressure on from this face-off, Jonathan. Manchester Storm looking good in defence so far, but they haven't really been tested.
It's 4-on-4, a little bit extra space, and there we go.
And saying that, goal for the Sheffield Steelers. Pretty much on exactly 5 minutes gone on the clock.
It's just back-to-back face-offs in the offensive zone. They win it, it's sent on goal, and Nelson has got a fairly regulation finish. He's got quite a lot to aim at after it comes back to him.
It's Sheffield Steelers 1, Manchester Storm 0. 5 minutes of the first period gone, and you can hear the crowds now trying to lift the Storm once again. Matt Bissonnette trying to get a quick reply into the zone. Oh, very almost crept through Mustakov's there. I think he lost the puck for a second, but he's back with the Manchester Storm. Paul Swindlehurst behind the nets, and we have a penalty coming.
Yeah, the shot from Dazinski took a little bit of deflection and it fluttered on Mustakov, so he'd gone up high thinking that's where the puck was going to come, and then it dips on him because there's no momentum behind it. The penalty, meanwhile, has been called against Dazinski. He got done for interference at the side of the goal with a play away from where the puck was, and now the Steelers will get a little period of 4-on-3 power play time.
Just to read down on the penalties currently being served, obviously Damian Dazinski in for 2 minutes. There's 42 seconds left on the penalties for Jack Prince and Ben O'Connor. So we've got a little bit of 4-on-3, then we'll have a little bit of 5-on-4, and the Steelers will definitely be looking to capitalise here, Jonathan.
And again, Wah will go and get in the eye line of Clemente most of the time during this power play.
Walker circling the puck back there. Onto Armstrong for Sheffield. Back to Walker, back to Armstrong, looking to find a lane, flicked up off Clemente's glove, that looked like. And we're back with Armstrong. Very close chance there for the Steelers, just mishit it as the puck came to him. And the Manchester Storm defence looking to get stuck in now against the boards there. And the first batch of penalties have...
another penalty coming against Storm. Swindlehurst. He had a really good battle with War over there, and once the puck finally comes free from the boards, he just swings his stick at him. He's been called for slashing. It's such good work against the boards to try and, even though he wasn't winning the puck back from War, just to hold him in the corner and not let it come free. And he's just let himself down right at the end.
Now, I know you were here for the New Year's Day game between the Manchester Storm and the Sheffield Steelers, and from a Manchester Storm perspective, it was the penalties that, to be honest, really cost us that game. Plenty of Manchester Storm fans are going to be screaming, keep out of the box as we look at things. We are, well, just over 6 minutes into the first period. It's 5-on-3 for the Sheffield Steelers. And it's also 2-0 to the Sheffield Steelers.
And it's Matthew War. He's just pulled away. He's found a pocket of space in the slot. 5-on-3. There's always room somewhere if you can find it. And War's such a clever player. He doesn't go to the net. You see him back away. And it's just the power in the shot that's past the blocker.
Right in the lane, right in front of the net, and straight through Clemente. Manchester Storm 0, Sheffield Steelers 2, 13:44 on the clock in the first period. Rubachuk trying to get the shot across, and it's a breakaway here for the Sheffield Steelers. Levi Nelson blocked by Clemente. A great save back from the Manchester Storm netminder. I think we've been stopped there for the net coming off its moorings.
Yeah, net has come off. It's the combination of Dowd and Nelson which has been so dangerous for the Sheffield Steelers this season. They're really starting to find their best form, and Nelson was just put under a little bit of pressure as he was going through. I think it was Pacha who was getting back at him and was able to put him under enough pressure to make it difficult. He couldn't do the stick handling he wanted in front of Clemente, and it allowed the netminder just to get a little poke check in, and there was no backhand shot that ever really got away. Oh no, we have called the penalty shot. We'll have to take that back. It looked as though the pressure that had been put on has initially been called as being okay, but the decision from Dean Smith is that it will be a penalty shot.
Interesting to see that one on the replay again. Penalty shot, and it will be Levi Nelson who is taking this for the Sheffield Steelers. Nelson against Clemente. Linesman just making sure everything's okay with Clemente. Referee Dean Smith also down there to give the go-ahead, and here we go with the penalty shot. And it's a miss for Nelson, as I'm sure you can hear from the roar of the Storm shelter there. That coming on 8:59 left to go in the first period. I'm not sure, did Clemente get a little tap on that, or did it fly over by itself?
Well, we'll give him a little bit of credit, but I don't think there was. It seemed like it just crashed into the glass.
2 minutes left to go in the first period here at the Storm shelter. The score remains Manchester Storm 0, Sheffield Steelers 2. Manchester Storm are on the power play though. They'll be hoping to nick at least something before the end of the period. However, here come the Sheffield Steelers on the breakaway. A good bit of defence there, stopped though by Clemente. And the Storm are going to turn around and rebuild. Still got just over a minute left to go on this power play. Important that they start making the chances count now.
Yeah, they need to get the puck into the zone and get set up and put the Steelers under pressure, because they've had the only chances so far on this particular penalty kill.
Rubachuk behind the net, speedy skating, speedy pass, flick wrist shots, and it's a goal! Patrick Rubachuk, number 81 for the Manchester Storm, makes it Manchester 1, Sheffield 2. It was played across the ice by Trevor Johnson, and it was just a little flick in. Patrick Rubachuk was just at the side of the net, the puck was deflected. Mustakov was down blocking, but Rubachuk just managed to squeak it in. He actually started the play as well, Jonathan. Good work from Rubachuk, and then he was there right at the side of the net to finish it off. And there's the puck drop, face-off, scrambled, one on the floor. I couldn't quite see who that was. I think it was Hagos scrambling for it on the floor there for Sheffield. Manchester Storm have given the puck away though. Here come the Steelers, short-handed shot into the corner. Comes back round to Hagos. Manchester Storm need to get hold of the puck here in their own zone. They're on the power play. Doesn't look that way at the moment though. The Sheffield Steelers circling the puck, keeping the possession. Big hits in the corner there against Hagos, who still has the puck, clears it back down to his defensive end. Fitzgerald fires it up the ice. Sheffield Steelers clear, but they're still chasing after the puck there. They are on the penalty kill, a reminder. Here come the Manchester Storm, though. It's Darian Dzinski heading into the zone. Stops, waits, turns, great pass straight across. Back in the middle, looking for a shot. Dallas Earhart with a shot there. Puck is loose right in front of the net. It's a goal for the Manchester Storm. It's Manchester Storm 2, Sheffield Steelers 1. Didn't quite see who got the final touch on that.
Looked to me like it was Jack Prince, and again, the Steelers back off and they allow the Storm to skate into the circle and take the shot. And without the pressure on, it's too much for Mustakovs to deal with. And when the puck sits for Prince, he's able to knock it in. But again, look how there's no pressure on. He can walk into such a good scoring area.
Minute left to go on this penalty kill for the Manchester Storm. Long shot from outside over the blue line there from Sheffield, and now the battling for the puck continues down in the area. We can't quite see it. It's just beyond our vision. Hopefully you've got a better view of that on the TV, watching the webcast wherever you are. Another air shot. That's 2 or 3 times that's happened in this particular game.
O'Connor's got to get a chase on here. There's a big rush.
Matt Bissonnette with the puck. It is 2-on-1 though. Oh, passed across into the lane. A little bit high though. Darian Dzezinski just couldn't quite bring that down and control it. It is still on the power play for Sheffield. And it's a goal for Sheffield. Line change, leaving them short in defence at the back there, Jonathan. Bit of a mistake from Storm.
And it's Nelson again. There were 2 committed to win this back from the Steelers. They pinch it from Earhart, and it's Hagos who plays it back. And it's just, again, the advantage you have 2-on-1 when you're on a man advantage. Earhart needs more help. He needs the option of being able to play it behind his own goal. And when he doesn't, Nelson's going to take that one on. I don't think he realises, Earhart, that he's under as much pressure as he is.
Adam Harding playing it down the line for the Manchester Storm. Back in the Steelers' defensive zone once again. Plenty of pressure here for the Manchester Storm, but it doesn't really seem to be coming to anything. Can't really find that clear-cut pass. Great defence from the Steelers, you have to give them credit, blocking everything, closing the lanes down and making sure that the Manchester Storm aren't getting any space at all in all the corners of the ice at the moment. Still fighting away for the Manchester Storm in the far corner. Trying to bring the puck back out is Adam Harding once again. Fighting for it there down in the corner, comes around to the far side. Paul Phillips going into a challenge. Phillips comes away with the puck, tries to get it across the centre ice, just nicked away there. I think that was it Robert Dowd, just managed to tip it away for the Sheffield Steelers.
Steelers couldn't get the complete line change they were looking for. The Storm recovered quickly and sent a pass forward. They only got one of the 2 D off. As soon as they get this foot forward, they'll want to complete that line change.
And there is the completion of that line change. Line change as well for the defence of the Manchester Storm. All 5 Storm players back in their own zone. Lots and lots of space there for Sheffield. Chase is on now though. Fitzgerald. Who's that breathing down his neck? I can't quite see from where I stood. I think it was it Bissonnette? I think it was, or was it Mario Trabuco breathing down Fitz's neck there. But the Steelers come away with the puck once again. Probably getting a little bit too much space than the Manchester Storm would like to give them ideally. It's a very open game this in the third, Jonathan.
That's good from Cartier. Took the puck away and carried it all the way down the ice. Made this team 2 zones.
Would have been a good pass that from Dallas Earhart, just slightly behind its intended target of Patrick Valkak over on the far side of the ice. Trying to grab hold of that once again with a stick up from Dzezinski there. Manchester Storm really fighting for this in the Steelers' end. Broken stick.
Oh, it's so frustrating when that happens because it's a good shooting chance and the screen's just about to flash across in front of Mustakovs. The loose piece of stick is still lying on the ice. That could be awkward if they don't get cleared away.
With a fresh stick, quickly to the bench. Varley has got a stick that's all in one piece now, and he's doing his defensive work alongside that's Cody Cartier down there on the boards.
Oh, it's good from the Steelers captain. He's taking 2 from the Storm and a third to try and keep it away, and still Phillips goes on. It's a good few seconds killed where his defence can relax and get themselves into the right position. That's where the Steelers want to spend this remaining time.
Big bounce off the boards there. Cross-ice pass from Manchester Storm. Took a big bounce off the boards, came right back out into the Sheffield Steelers shooting lane. Fortunately for Manchester, there was nobody sitting there waiting to pop a go on that one.
Little look from Clemente over his shoulder at the clock. He's seen coming up on 3.5 minutes to go. I wonder how aggressive Omar Pacha will be in pulling Clemente when he'll choose to go to the bench. Both teams still have their timeouts available if they want to use those to get a breather or to discuss an empty net situation. We're probably still going to be inside 2 minutes, I would have thought, before they are willing to take that risk.
Manchester Storm, of course, pulled Mike Clemente against Dundee last Sunday, resulted in an empty net goal for the Dundee Stars. Will they take that risk against Sheffield? You have to think so heading into the last couple of minutes.
They'll take it for sure, but it's a question of how early they want to try and do it. Because sometimes if you leave it too late and then the chance to get the puck into the offensive zone and get Clemente off the ice doesn't come, you never really get to use the sixth skater. You do it too soon and give up a goal with 2 minutes left, you feel you've been too aggressive.
Pass there from Trabuco across the ice, lost though. Just went slightly behind its intended target. Shot comes in from the Sheffield Steelers. Trevor Johnson in there fighting for it for the Manchester Storm. 2 minutes 35 seconds left to go on the game clock. Time is running out here for the Manchester Storm. Shot on net, smothered once again by Mustakovs. Crucial part of this period now. The pressure needs to stay up at the Sheffield end. Mike Clemente coming over here. Timeout called possibly.
No, he's just coming over to find out at what point they want him to go off. So he's trying to get a signal now. He's pointing at the clock and saying, when do you want it to be? Do you want it to be 2 minutes, 90 seconds, 60 seconds? When will it be?
Steelers win that face-off. Flick it around. Oh, a good pass.
Well, they're going to call it icing.
They call it icing. I must admit, I thought there was a little flick. I thought I heard a little bit of a flick off the stick somewhere.
Well, that's what Levi Nelson is saying that he got a touch, but the face-off will go back in. So important that the Storm stay penalty-free. It'll be so difficult to pull an empty netter and then only get a 5-on-5 situation from it. They must stay disciplined. They can't take too many chances because a penalty pretty much kills the game.
Steelers once again winning that face-off, coming away with the puck, fighting for it in the boards though. Could be a dangerous situation here for the Steelers. 3-on-2 temporarily. Good grab that from Clemente.
Steelers will take that. They'll be happy with the stoppage, get a new line out and keep the puck as far away from Mustakovs as possible. Interesting, they're still prepared to commit 3 coming over the blue line. They wanted to get a shooting chance away. Sometimes you'll just see the centre just hang back a little bit more. The defensemen aren't going to take any chances. They're not going to be leading the rush now. But they're still prepared to send players in. They still think that they can end the game right now with a goal. They're not just settling for 3.
Scrappy face-off there. Storm do come away with the puck though. Patrick Rubachuk firing it up. 2 minutes remaining in the final period. Storm's forecheck here really needs to do its work. Coming back for the puck, Trevor Johnson behind the net. You can see Mike Clemente, he's waving, he's got his hands in the air, he's waiting for the nod from the bench to come out to the net.
Waiting for the puck to be established down the ice. And now he'll go.
Clemente is coming off, the netminder has been pulled for the Manchester Storm.
Dzinski's the extra skater.
Dzinski comes on. Pressure in the Steelers zone now. So important that Manchester Storm managed to cycle the puck and keep possession. Shot comes in, close in front, yes! It's in! It's there for the Manchester Storm. Just double checking with referee Dean Smith, that has been given. I think it has.
It is pandemonium in here, and it's the chaos that comes from the rebound, and the Steelers just don't know where it is. Loose on the far side, and it's the extra skater. You've got someone spare, you can stick him at the far post and nudged across the line. But again, it's the low shot off the pads. We've spoken about it before. If you're out wide, you have to shoot it low because the rebound comes into the slot. They're giving it to Rubachuk, second of the night for him.
Second of the night for number 81, Patrick Rubachuk. 1 minute, 18 seconds left to go. Pulling Mike Clemente worked this time for the Manchester Storm. It's not worked as often as it sadly has failed this season, but on that particular occasion, we've got the tie goal. Big hit.
Oh, he stayed down.
By Corchet, he has stayed down.
They're going to have to stop the play.
Have to stop this one.
It's like, is it Rubachuk or is it Coyle who's down? I can see it.
Clemente was hitting his stick to alert the officials' attention. Can't quite see who it is from our Coventry position.
You can see the footage, Rubachuk 44. It's okay, so shoulder to shoulder against the boards. Yeah, but the Steelers aren't happy and they've got to maintain the discipline here, the Steelers. Although Rubachuk is down, it's a nasty hit.
It's a big hit. Nothing I've seen on the replay says it was a dirty hit. Looks clean from where we've seen. But like I say, we've just literally had that one replay. things getting a little bit touchy. He's still down, the Sheffield Steelers physios and medical team on the ice with him here. Obviously, we hope that it's nothing too serious.
Oh, it's a real mood killer for the Steelers. They've had their lead wiped out and they're losing the defenseman, it seems here. Let's take another look again. Rubachuk is the one who's going to be hit. He'll play the puck on.
Looks like he held his head on the left-hand side as he went down. The hit wasn't on his head for sure. It was shoulder to shoulder.
Well, Rubachuk is back to his skates, thankfully, but
back up and good.
Whether he'll be able to continue in this game, that looks doubtful.
Good to see the Manchester Storm crowds giving him a round of applause as well. Yes, hockey is a fast-paced game. Yes, hockey involves big hits, but hockey is also one of the friendliest sports around between the crowds and the players, and you never ever wish to see anybody come off worse for wear from a hit. So we hope everything is okay and there's no long-term damage done to Rubachuk there. He's made his way back onto the bench with the Sheffield medical team. Just to kind of reset things then after that little stoppage in play, 3-3, 56 seconds left on the clock. We have a penalty just gone on the clock, I've just seen.
Yeah, Fitzgerald's going to get called for his reaction, so the Storm are going to end this game on the power play. What a reaction that's brought.
Fitzgerald, 2 minutes. You would think for misconduct, unless there's something happened out there that we didn't quite spot while we were looking at the replays.
Well, they could call it roughing, but what it means is that the Storm, who scored 5-on-4, 5-on-4 and 6-on-5, are going to get another 5-on-4. And of course, if it carries on into overtime, they'll get the 4-on-3. They're not going to get a better chance. This is the moment. Go win it now. Someone's going to make themselves a hero.
Fitzgerald has been given that 2-minute penalty for roughing. 56 seconds left on the clock on the power play for the Manchester Storm. Can they do it in regulation, or will this one be going to overtime? The atmosphere in the Storm shelter absolutely electric. Wrap around by Manchester Storm in front of the net. It's been lost. The referee has actually blown. What's going on over there in front of the net?
Well, he thinks that puck has been frozen again, or the collision with Mustakovs is worthy of a whistle, even though the puck was loose in front.
Yeah, Dean
crowd
Smith
are getting on his back, but
Dean Smith completely missing the puck there. But once again, it goes back to the official that they can't see it. If they don't know where it is, they've got no other option than to blow.
Well, they're obviously not saying collision with Mustakovs, because otherwise the face-off will come out of the zone, so he obviously just thinks it's been frozen and lost sight of it.
Did end up with about 4 Sheffield Steelers players in Mustakov's goal, and I think it might have been Jack Prince in there for the Manchester Storm. Storm win the puck back, cycling it back, they're heading back into the zone. It's Rubachuk, 2 goals for him. Can he get a hat-trick? Bringing the puck back, playing it back to Trabuco on the blue line. Trevor Johnson lines up for a shot. 30 seconds left to go in this third period. Manchester Storm cycling the puck around the Steelers' defensive end. They still have. The Steelers are now trying to win the puck. They clear it down towards Clemente's net. Line change for the Steelers. And you can hear the Steelers fans getting really behind their team. What a fabulous atmosphere here in the Storm shelter. 10 seconds to go. Patrick Rubachuk fires one down. Mustakov's never going to have a problem with a shot like that. Getting a little bit fiery. 1 second left to go.
Oh, what a stop. I think time had expired, but Mustakovs to get across and recover to make that stop, as again we have Cummings together, but I don't think the follow-up shot was actually in time. What a game this has been, my goodness, Lee. Oh, and off we go again, and Phillips with a little punch.
Phillips has just taken a swing, and I think it was Trevor Johnson. Quite clearly saw that one on our screens. Whether the officials saw it or not, I'm not quite sure.
It looks as though they're...
Mustakovs has just saved the game for Sheffield, though. What a save that was, with literally 2 seconds left to go.
Well, yeah, the first save is good enough. The follow-up, I think, was out of time, but the power play will continue. I don't think anything extra has been called by Dean Smith. He was just sending their teams back to their benches, so I think David Phillips is going to get away with that little cheeky one.
So this game has gone into overtime then. It is finished 3-3. Manchester Storm 3, Sheffield Steelers 3. A reminder that Zach Fitzgerald still in the penalty box for the Sheffield Steelers. 1 minute 5 seconds left to go on his penalty. That means that the Manchester Storm will start with 4 outfield skaters for the 3-on-3 overtime.
Yeah, so at the first whistle after it, if it does get as far as 4-on-4, they'll then revert to 3-on-3. You always have to have at least 3 on the ice. You can't play 3-on-2. But this will suit the Manchester Storm perfectly. This is exactly the situation they want. But a minute and 5 can pass quickly. They've got to make sure that they get the puck into the zone, get it set up, and then be patient. Don't force it, because there can still be that break going the other way. You must play sensible hockey. You don't have to win it in the first minute and 5.
Now, probably worth pointing out that this is not the first time that a Manchester versus Sheffield game has gone into overtime this season. I can't remember the exact date, but I think it was back in October. The Steelers won it on penalty shots. There was a rather controversial penalty shot, though, from Mario Trabuco, which many people thought had gone over the line. The goal judge gave us over the line. The referee said no. That created a whole storm on social media for the next 2 days. But in the scheme of things, the Steelers came out with a win there. Just wondering how much that's playing on the mind of the people down on the ice right now.
Well, the Storm haven't had the best record when things have gone beyond 60 minutes this season.
I was trying not to remember that. But
the Sheffield Steelers, the last time they went into overtime, they conceded on their very first shot against Braehead a few weeks ago. But it's so important for the Steelers. They can win the draw. They can take the puck into the zone, just kill a few seconds, because it's going to be difficult for them. The only way you think they're going to get a shooting chance is if they make a mistake, Manchester. Because Manchester have got the extra skater, but they can afford to be patient with 4-on-3 situation. A minute and 5 is a heck of a long time.
Here we go into overtime then, 4-on-3. Johnson, Bissonnette, Trabuco and Zazinski on the ice for the Manchester Storm. Sorry, it's Cartier, not Trabuco. Cartier back to Johnson there, looking for this opening. 49 seconds left to go on the 4-on-3. They'll be looking to capitalise on it. Big shot from Johnson. Referee's
man in the crease.
Man in the crease. There we go.
I think they should use the shot from Bissonnette out wide. That's how the goal came last time. Shoot from the angle and shoot low, and you've got the extra skater. Whether it comes into the slot or whether it goes far post, you've got the numerical advantage. I'd be looking for the slap shot from out wide.
Comes back to another face-off then. Zazinski going in for it for the Manchester Storm. I can't see a number, but you'll be able to recognise the face. Who's that for the Steelers?
That's Guillaume Desbiens.
And he's being asked to leave the face-off circle.
It's now a defenseman, and O'Connor taking the draw.
Ben O'Connor taking the draw now. Steelers win that and clear it up the ice. Clemente trying to get hold of it, flies round the boards, almost setting up Manchester, coming back into the Steelers zone. Cartier on the far side plays it into Johnson in the centre, looking to get that pass into the lane again, aren't they? Bissonnette fumbles it just a little bit, manages to turn, keep hold of the puck.
Ice is really soft out there now, it's not good.
23 seconds left to go on this power play. It's in front of Muskatov and he manages to smother it, and then somebody gets flattened. Zazinski gets flattened, but I think that was O'Connor again, but the referee seems to be happy that it was just protecting the netminder, just keeping your own team's interests in heart. The line change here for the Manchester Storm. We've got 4 minutes 14 left to go in the overtime period. 18 seconds left on Zach Fitzgerald's penalty. Don't forget, 4-on-3 currently for the Manchester Storm. Cleared away by the Sheffield Steelers. That's all they needed to do, Jonathan, isn't it? Just to get a little bit of pressure off them, run them seconds down on the clock.
And of course, when Fitzgerald gets out, he's got to get back into the play as quickly as he can. Of course, the Steelers will have 3D and 1 forward out there, so Fitzgerald's got to be aware of what his assignment is. It won't be his usual one.
He comes straight across the ice, actually straight for a line change. Nelson comes straight on.
Yeah, they're going to call that icing, so a break for the Steelers. We will now go to 3-on-3, and the Steelers will get into the offensive zone. Well, the Storm did create the chances. They got the shots on Mustakovs. They did have some bodies around, but there's still so much that can happen. Now things have gone back to 3-on-3. The Storm haven't realised yet they've got 4 skaters out there, so they need to just rearrange themselves. They're going to have to lose somebody.
3:51 left to go in overtime.
Steelers now revert to 1 defenseman and 2 forwards for 3-on-3.
Full start there on the face-off. Linesman gets them to reset, down goes the puck. 3-on-3 for 3 minutes 47 seconds, or of course until a goal is scored. Possible break in here. Mark Heatley gets it away. Oh, great defence work once again, just keeping the body, but Heatley's won it back. 3-on-3, so close, just slips wide of Mustatov's goal. Heatley still with the puck, looking for a big slap shot coming. Thought that was coming from centre ice over the blue line. Manchester Storm are going to have to come back and reset. Trabuco, Heatley.
No penalty.
No penalty.
This
the referee's
Coyle.
allowed that.
Oh, he's hit the crossbar.
He's hit the crossbar.
Oh, he's given it. He's given it. The referee points for the goal. My goodness, what a controversy.
I'm going to have to see the replay on that one.
Oh, Trabuco's going mad at the referee.
The referee has given the goal to the Sheffield Steelers. Clemente didn't think it was in.
Here we go. Coyle is in. Oh, is that the underside of the bar? Oh, it might be. Oh, it's so hard to tell. I don't know if we can slow it down at all or not, but...
And I hate to say it, but here is another classic case of goal line technology required.
This is where we need it.
To me, that bounces off the underside of the crossbar looking at that, but without being down on the goal line, it's so difficult to tell looking at that angle.
And I say a TV obstructs our view of the red light, so I don't know if the red light came on. I'm not sure what the goal judge says.
Goal judge light didn't go on. I did not see the goal judge light on.
Oh, the Storm are so angry about this.
And I hate to say it.
You can see why.
It's a controversial ending to yet another War of the Roses clash between the Manchester Storm and the Sheffield Steelers. And once again, you know, Manchester Storm players, they won't have any hard feelings against any of the Steelers fans. They are livid about this decision. It's been given with 3:17 left on the clock. An overtime win for the Sheffield Steelers against the Manchester Storm. A controversial ending, and we mentioned at the start of overtime, Jonathan, the last one rumbled on social media for days and days. I think I know what's happening over the course of the next few days on social media again.
Well, it's been a busy evening after that game, and the less is said about the end result there, probably the better. Storm fans feeling a little bit robbed tonight, but there's been very busy after that game because they've all been queuing up to sign, get their jersey signed and meet one particular man, this gentleman here, Brad Rubachuk. What an evening for you. We were watching earlier as the banner, which is just behind us, is now raised with your number. Have you enjoyed yourself?
I really have. It's been an amazing 4 days. Neil Russell flew me in, and my family and my kids, and it's just been crazy. Like, you know, autographs and interviews and meeting people and people coming up to me saying, "Remember me? I was 10." I'm like, no. But it's been a fantastic 4 days.
Your legacy now will stay on here for Manchester Storm version 2. What are you thinking of things being back here, watching the game, soaking up the atmosphere? Does it remind you of good times?
It's always good times when you're around a rink. It really is. Big difference, obviously, than the MEN Arena. Obviously, it doesn't seat as many people. But I found the difference watching tonight's game was at the MEN Arena, if you had 8,000 people, it seemed, even though the fans are loud and that, it seemed a little bit quieter because it's such a big rink. So when you jam like 2,500 people into this little barn and they're leaning over you and they're chanting and screaming, it's a way louder, way better atmosphere.
Do you think we'll ever see you come back here?
I think I will. Hopefully not in 18 years, hopefully sooner than that. But yeah, like I thank Neil Russell so much for flying us over and doing this all over again. You know, 18 years ago, I got to watch my jersey be raised to the rafters in the MEN Arena, and, you know, it's such an honor to be back, pretty much standing in a different rink, but having my jersey put in its new home here in Altrincham.
All right, well, its legacy will stay here, and will certainly stay here in Altrincham for many years, we hope so. Thank you very much for your time, Brad. That's all we have for Hockey Night in Manchester this week. Next week, it's the Edinburgh Capitals that come to visit on the Saturday evening. And also stay tuned for more ice hockey on the telly, which will be Stars on the Fly. And as if you didn't need reminding, a few of you have sent in your goal celebrations, all suggests for Paul Swindlehurst and how his goals should be celebrated on our TVs as part of Hockey Night in Manchester. Well, until we do that, watch out everything on social media. As we always say here on Hockey Night in Manchester, always take the weather with you.